Hello my friends, so welcome all of you, almost 113,000 star seeds, light workers and wanderers to this magical session. And today I have channeled the Galactic Federation, who have answered very interesting questions. The questions which they have answered firstly is about what is the reason behind the relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They separated recently. Not only that they separated, but also they are attacking each other. That is what is happening right now. And I wanted to know what is going on behind the scenes. Because people have been told something else, and something else is happening behind the scenes. So this is very important for us to understand, which has been revealed. The other question I've asked about is what is beyond the veil? Because we have a veil we cannot remember. So what is on the other side of the veil, and how can we humans experience it, which is absolutely crazy. They have revealed information. I've asked about the truth behind the Dead Sea Scrolls, and what are the spiritual significance of these scrolls, which have been revealed in this session. And finally, I've asked about, there is something known as the telepathy tapes experiment, which I think many of you may be aware of, where there are certain kids and some people, they have this ability of reading other people's thoughts. So how does it work? And has been revealed, which is very important for us to know. And also I am aiming to reach around 150,000 subscribers, and with your help we can reach that by the end of this year. So thank you for subscribing if you have not already. And also we have a meditation for the Looking Glass event for the month of June, which I'll hold on my Patreon. And also I have released some fascinating sessions on a Patreon, really amazing sessions about the plan of the Cabal and stuff like that, which are very interesting for us to know. So you can access them on a Patreon. The link is on the description. And also I want to tell you that there are around 650 plus unique channeling sessions. So if you want to dive deep into your spiritual knowledge, you can join our community over there. And also, finally, a big thank you to all of you who with your heart like this video, because liking is free. It will help this message to reach to others who may need it spiritually, and it will help them, change their life. Thank you so much. Enjoy the session, my friends.
We are the Galactic Federation, now in communications through these instruments in our heart at this timeline. And we, the Galactic Federation, now communicate at this time and space for the purpose of answering the various queries that are presented. We suggest your peoples to use inner discernment. Firstly, the query related with what caused the relationship to separate between the entities named as Elon Musk and Donald Trump. We must state that Donald Trump, who is a soul complex of unexpected complexity, walks a path leading towards service to others, though veiled by the density of its own fears and illusions. The entity perceived Elon Musk, whose actions and motivations are primarily aligned with service to self, driven by ambition, control, and the seduction of power. The entity Donald Trump saw Elon Musk shape-shifting into a reptilian form. This vision primarily arose during an encounter when The entities Elon and Donald Trump were having a meeting. Furthermore, because of the emotions of anger and imbalance, the entity Elon Musk shapeshifted into a reptilian form. This furthermore showcased its true nature to the entity Donald Trump. Furthermore, we must state that the entity Donald Trump at this timeline saw the reptilian aspects, which symbolized the entity Elon Musk's deeper allegiance to the power over others paradigm, a vibration which was opposite to Trump's own aspiration to make whole what it perceives as broken in this realm. The clash is not merely of egos, but of energetic misalignments, a service to other soul complex, sensed a service to self, core of the entity Elon. Further, within the timeline, the entity Elon Musk's innovations, whilst seemingly progressive, are fueled by a hunger to transcend limits for its own glorification, a hunger that the entity Trump caught between its service of others yearning and its own service to self tendencies, interprets as a threat to the fragile order the entity Trump seeks to preserve. We must state that the feud which has occurred is a dance of shadows, a microcosm of humanity's struggle to discern the difference between service from the heart and service from the ego minds. Both entities are playing their own part in the greater game of polarization. Their conflict is a necessary friction to refine the collective consciousness of humanity. This allows many of your people to wake up to the true reality and realize that things are not as they seem from the outside. Now we shall answer the other query about what is the veil and what is on the other side, and how can individual entities of your planet experience it. Firstly, the veil of which your people speak is the boundary between that which is known and that which is veiled in potentiality, the separation of conscious awareness from the full spectrum of truth that is ever present yet unseen by those dwelling within third density illusion complex. The veil exists not as a wall, but as a filter of perception born out of choice for free will and duality. It allows the entity to forget its origin, to wander in search of meaning, and thereby to discover love through the act of seeking. In your current density, the veil serves a sacred purpose. It allows the illusion of separation to appear real, so that each soul complex may choose freely whether to seek unity, to grow in compassion, and to evolve an understanding. This forgetting is not a punishment but design, a loving mechanism of the one Creator to allow experience of self through contrast. Beyond the veil dwells the memory of who the entity truly is, a fragment of the infinite Creator, whole and unbroken. Therein resides the higher self, the totality of your being beyond time, the Akashic records, the memory of all you have been and might become, and the love of the one pure and undistorted awaiting your return to remembrance. To cross the veil is not to go somewhere new, but to awaken to where you have always been. Through love and only love does the veil begin to thin. There are many paths, but they all lead to the same gate, such as meditation and silence, where the voice of the ego mind grows still and the heart begins to hear, and service to others, where the illusion of separation dissolves, and the act of giving and self-inquiry, asking not what am I, but who am I. And there are dreams and visions which often carry messages from the other side of the veil into your waking consciousness. When the veil lifts briefly and you feel the presence of something vast and beautiful beyond words, there is moments of grace. Know this, that you are never separate from the one Creator. The veil is but a gentle curtain drawn not to keep you out, but to allow you the joy of choosing to step through. We, as the Galactic Federation, shall now answer the other query regarding what is the truth about the Dead Sea Scrolls and their spiritual significance. We, the Galactic Federation, must state that the Dead Sea Scrolls are a collection of ancient texts discovered in the caves near Qumran by the Dead Sea. We must state that they were created by those known to your peoples as the Essenes and others who sought truth in solidarity and purity. These scrolls contain writings both scriptural and philosophical, and unique in their teachings. From our vantage points in time-space, we perceive that these scrolls were hidden, not only for preservation but also as a symbolic act, a burying of truth beneath the surface of the worlds, awaiting a time when minds and heart complexes would be ready to receive them without distortion or fear. Spiritually, the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls lies in their reflection of a time when seekers of light gathered together, forming communities dedicated to service, study, and purification. Their writings emphasize the importance of inner transformation, the duality of light and dark, and the necessity of living in accordance with higher laws, which your peoples know as the divine principles. These texts, at this timeline as we can scan, contain secrets that offer insights into the evolution of spiritual thought form during a pivotal era. They illustrate humanity's ongoing search for meaning, unity, and connection with the one Creator. Furthermore, we shall now address the final query regarding the truth about the telepathy tapes experiments and how does it operates. We, the Galactic Federation, must state that primarily within your timeline, this concerns with the phenomenon your peoples have termed as the telepathy tapes experiments. We perceive your seeking for understanding regarding its nature and the mechanisms you perceive as how it works. The truth, as with all manifestations within your illusion complex, is multifaceted. That which you call telepathy is the natural, undistorted unrestricted communication of mind to minds, a faculty inherent within all consciousness, for all consciousness is one in the Creator. In densities of greater understanding and harmonization, this mode of connection is a commonplace, unencumbered by the veils of your current space and time. In your third density experience, the veils are substantial. The entities you observe in this experiment, particularly those your peoples identify as non-speaking or autistic, possess a lesser degree of the societal and cultural conditionings that tend to thicken these veils for other entities. Their unique configurations of mind-body-spirit complex allows for a more porous boundary to the, shall we say, thought atmosphere or the field of consciousness that interpenetrates all. With regards to how this experiment works, in instances where genuine communication occurs is through the alignment of vibrations. If the center and the receiver entities, however, briefly and unconsciously attain a resonance in their vibratory patterns, a thought form, which is a configuration of energy, may be impressed from one mind complex to another. The desire and intent of the entities involved also play a significant role, acting as a focusing mechanism for the energies of consciousness. However, we must also offer a caution. The interpretation of such phenomenon within your density is fraught with potential for distortion. The desire for a particular outcome can influence the perceptions of those involved. At this timeline, there may be subtle distortions for people who are trying to use this knowledge to influence others. Therefore, within your timeline, we suggest to use discernment when perceiving such type of telepathic connection. Further, the path to clearer telepathic connection lies in the harmonization of the self, the opening of the heart center, and the seeking of the Creator within all things. Hence we'll leave you now in love light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth, rejoice in power and peace. We'll leave you. Bye.
So let me explain to you what I learned, and before I do that, if you want to know about your soul name, your past life, or any other questions you want me to channel for you, you can email me and I will channel for you. The email will be on the screen as well as on the description. So what I learned in the session is that there is this feud happening between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And it turns out that this actually was caused because Donald Trump, who has a very like service to others kind of mindset, according to the Galactic Federation, saw Elon Musk shape-shifting into reptilian. So that, I think, triggered this thing which is happening, but we are not being told the truth, right? And I also want to let you know that a few days ago, Elon Musk was seen having some kind of weird looking scar on his face, which looked really weird, like he was shape-shifting or something like that. So maybe that was a sign. And also regarding the other query about what's beyond the veil, from what I learned from the session, from one listening, they said that there is the Akashic records, there is our own higher self, and we will have knowledge of what will happen to us in the future and the past. So that exists beyond the veil. And normally, we can experience this, through meditation, through deep meditation, and also through our dream states, sometimes. So that's what they said. And other thing about the Dead Sea Scrolls, from what I understood, they said that these scrolls were found by the Dead Sea, and they were created by the Essenes. They wanted to create some kind of knowledge, which would help humanity when the time is right. So that they explained, that the Dead Sea Scrolls are meant to help humanity reach higher level of consciousness. And also, they have described about the telepathy tapes. Now, from what I understand, they said that, telepathic abilities do exist, but we need to use discernment, because sometimes people can trick us, right? And also, they said that, telepathy usually occurs because the person, who is sensing other person's mind is able to go beyond the veil, and then sense thought form. Okay, so that's what I understood from this session. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for downloading the transcripts of my channeling sessions, which you can download for free from the link in the description of this video. Also, thank you to all of you for visiting my website. If you want to search for any content, you can search over there. And also, big thank you to all of you for subscribing to the channel. And I will see you, my friends, in the next session. Until then, enjoy this session over here.